Hey everyone, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be discussing the 6th book I read this year. It's called Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This is the first book I read by her, and it was so good. I probably read it in like 2 to 3 days. I just couldn't put it down. So it's about this girl, Alexis. She's 37 years old, and she's an ER doctor. And then it's about this guy, Daniel. He is 28. So he's 9 years younger than her, and it's basically about their relationship and if the age and the time in their life, affects this love that, starts to happen. And I was kind of intrigued by it because I was just like, oh, okay, with the older woman and the younger boy, I was like, if it was 25 and 35, that'd be interesting. Then I was like, if it was 38 and 28, that wouldn't be like too bad. But honestly, reading the book, the age gap didn't matter to me, because even though she was 37 and he's 28, where they're at in their lives is very similar. And so for me, it was about if she was willing to take that faith and, leap into this relationship, this love that they eventually do have, because he's all in on her, and she is just, she doesn't know, because they do come from two different worlds. And they meet, in the opening part of the book, she's coming home from a funeral in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and she lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And so she has to stop. She actually gets swerved off the road from a raccoon on a foggy night coming home. And so he happened to just be on this road, this guy Daniel, and he ends up, pulling her car out or anything like that. And so as she heads on back on the road or whatever, she stops because she's hungry. And so she stops at this one place that's in this very small town, the only thing that's open, and it's a packed house. And so Daniel ends up being there with a few of his friends that are over in the other part of the room, playing pool. And so she walks in, and he was just like, oh, that's the girl I pulled out of the ditch. And so his friends I bet $100 for you for anybody to take her home. I don't know if it was specifically to Daniel, but it was someone else. And Daniel had to go because he's like, I have to go feed the kid, which the kid ended up being a baby goat, which I didn't know baby goats were called kids or called kid. So I was just because his cousin Liz actually bartends or whatever, and that's where she was sitting up at the bar, Alexis was. So he went up there and kind of was talking to her, chit-chatting, and he was just I gotta go feed the kid or whatever. So she thought that he actually had a child, and he's like, oh, well, how old is it? And he is it's just a week. And so he was like, oh, you have a girlfriend or whatever? And he's like, no, I don't have a girlfriend. And so she finds out it's a baby goat later on. But because Doug, when Daniel goes up to Alexis, Doug's like, hey, can you put a good word in for me? So when Daniel's up there, he tells her, he's like, hey, by the way, this guy over there near the pool table, he's gonna bring out a guitar and start singing to you or whatever, because there was this bet that's going. And so he ends up going to leave. And so she's like, well, why don't I just leave with you? She's like, you get the $100. And he's like, well, or I think he said I'll split it with you or whatever. I think he does end up taking her home, but I don't remember who ended up with the money. I think she might have ended up with the money, but she gave it back to him. I don't really remember. But anyways, they go back to his place, and they end up sleeping with each other, and she leaves in the middle of the night, 4:30, because she has to get back home, and it's a 2-hour drive. And so his world is completely different than hers. He's from a very, very small town, and he runs an Airbnb and does many different things in the town, where she comes from a money background. Her parents, they have a legacy of 125 years of all working in the medical industry. All of them are doctors. Parents retired. She has a twin brother, Derek, who ended up eloping his wife because his wife was a pop star, and they met in Africa, in Cambodia. because she does like a foundation, and he's just like, I do not want to be attached to mom and dad. I love this woman. I'm like sacrificing this stuff and moving there. So she's like the only bloodline left to like carry on this business of their whole entire family. So there's like a lot of pressure, and she just, her and Daniel like start to see each other, but it's basically like, I think it's called part of your world, meaning that she fits into his world, but she's just afraid to show him her world in terms of her friends who don't happen to be the nicest people. Her parents would definitely never approve from him. So she, like, I don't know, it's just interesting, like, for her being 37. I mean, granted, he is 9 years younger, he's 28, but he has a lot going for himself. I feel like he's pretty successful, even though I don't think success always has to be about money. And so I think people always equate that. And she's just like, I know my parents are not going to, you know, like him. They're going to judge him like they judged her brother's wife, which they haven't even met. It's a really cute rom-com, and I just absolutely really enjoyed it. And it was just really cool to see like a larger age gap relationship work out, because I feel like there is a negative connotation, at least today there is. And so I just feel like the maturity of both characters, even though Daniel grew up in a small town, he definitely was at the same maturity as she was. And so I think she was kind of like shocked by that. And I'm like, he treats you really well, and he is everything that you would want in a man. And it took her a long time, but she took the leap of faith. And it was just really cool, the obstacles and the choices that she made. I didn't really know how the book was going to end. I just hoped that they ended up together. But there were some things where I was just like, wow, like, this is what I wanted to see from you the entire novel. But I really enjoyed the journey of the relationship. And I don't know, the ending, I really like what she did with the ending. And yeah, it's just a really cute one. And then there is a sequel called Yours Truly, which is based on Alexis's best friend Bree, who is also an ER doctor. And so I really can't wait to read that. I actually just saw it at the store a couple days ago, and I'm going to definitely be reading that one next, because I just love I love Daniel's community. I love the small town. There's this character Doug who I just love. I just like, I really wish like I wish there was like a book on him and like finding love. Because he's just like a great overall character, and he struggles with depression. And so he is on medication, but he is an army medic. So he was in the military, and he's kind of like a goofy character. And so he sometimes needs, I don't want to say extra attention, but he definitely needs to be social to help, I don't want to say cure his depression, but help. It makes him feel good, because he just needs a socialization. And so I think coming from a small community here where everyone kind of helps each other, and he raises animals, and he has recipes for some of the things that he ends up like selling or things like that. So he's just a really kooky character, and that'd be so cool if there was like a book on him. But yeah, so that'd be really cool, because he does struggle with depression. I don't know if it was just due to his army experience, but him and Alexis have a couple of good scenes in there, because he is an army medic, and that was really cool to see their characters interact. And yeah, he's just like a bonus character. That's just like so cool. So anyways, if you like rom-com books, I would definitely check this one out. I'm definitely going to check more Abby's book out. I really liked it. It's just really easy read. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.